Swami Narayan Mandir. Today we have gathered here to celebrate Youth Conclave 2019 on behalf of Canara Bank Officers Association. And I would like to speak with the General Secretary of Canara Bank Officers Association, Shri G.V. Manimaran sir. Sir, welcome to Real Focus and Saurashtra Bharat News. I would like to know your views upon what actual the gist of this program was.
It's great, sir. In fact, we are all part of the Canara Bank, which is one of the performing public sector bank, continuously showing profit in the last 112 years, except 2 quarters where because of the technical reasons. Otherwise, it is one of the performing bank. This bank has got more than 60,000 officers and employees. Around 35,000 people are officers, managers, executives and all. We, the Canara Bank Officers Association, have got the membership of all the officers, managers, senior managers who are the supervisory strength of this bank. And the banking sector has seen a big changes after the digitalization introduced in 2001 in the recruitment pattern. And since the educational excellence is considered as an important input for working in the banking sector, we started recruiting officers directly in the bank after 2009. Today we have got around 70% of the officers are young boys who join directly in the bank as officers and who are in the age group of below 35. And since these people are second generation or third generation boys, many of them came directly from the bank. In the today's parlance, the service mindset to be set in the mind, set among the officers is very much required, and the boys are young and youth. We, the Canara Bank Officer Association, which is a body exclusively for the supervision, thought that we must inculcate values in the minds of the officers primarily, which will ensure this banking growth apart from the service mindset to the public also. So we formulated a theme called Building Values Among the Youth, Building Business in Canara Bank. This is
basically you are building a youth cadre.
Youth cadre, precisely, because it is 70%. So one such meeting we conducted with the same kind of theme last week in Chandigarh, well attended. And this time we conducted this meeting exclusively for the Maharashtra state, and people from various parts of the Maharashtra state, almost around 1,000 to 1,200 people attended. And our chairman Padmashri Manoharan sir, he has given a kind of motivational speech. And apart from that, our general manager Mr. Pramod, he was also present. He talked about the various facilities made to the youth to participate in the bank. And similarly, Madam Shrimati was there. She is the Chief Vigilance Officer of NABARD and State Bank of India, who is primarily part of the Canara. She also came and in the 3 hours we discussed mainly about how to build up the values in the minds of young boys to ensure their service to the society, and how to build up the bank where customer service is a main focus. All these things were discussed about it. And in the meeting, we took a stand that our bank, one of the performing bank, now it is going to cross 10 lakh crores mark total business, which we took it as a challenge. Some 2 years back we achieved it. And parallelly, we wanted to have achieved that 10,000 crores at least.
That was your benchmark.
Now we set.
Now you are going to
having achieved 10 lakh crores mark. We should achieve the 10,000 crores net profit, because we have very comfortably crossed the 12,000 crores operating profit. For majority, the operating profit is getting compensated towards the various provisions. In case we are concentrating on the recovery process, perhaps all the bad debts will be standard assets, and our net profit also we will be able to achieve 10,000 crores. There is a call given to our officers.
That's quite means a healthy figure which you are looking at.
Yes.
Acha sir, I would like to ask you some general questions. We have seen that figures have been a bit inspiring for Canara Bank. However, the NPA mina still haunts the financial market. How do you see the future outlook of the banking industry in this light?
Sir, primarily the NPA, the non-performing asset, what we call, which has become a big menace in the country. It is more like administrative kind of data manipulation. I should say that, because the government has got two strings in their hand. One is prudential norms, another is provisioning norms. See, the prudential norms, it decides when an account to become non-performing asset. It is in their hand. If it is 90 days, 90 days. If it is 180 days, 180 days. And after getting it converted into the non-performing asset, they are telling provision also. You make 20%, 80%, though it appears to be a scientifically made provision, it is only affecting the profitability. Otherwise,
is there any standard? I mean to say, is there any thumb rule for making NPAs, or it is just favorism?
No, it is there. It is there. They are telling the 90 days the account is not being repaid, it has to be converted into the non-performing assets and all. But it became a general rule without linking to the industry wise. Some industries may be generating money every time, some industry, and how the government policies are affecting the income generation of the company also to be seen all those things. And without seeing all those things, suddenly if you are making an allegation that the bank debts become bad, it affects the profitability of the bank. In fact, sir, in the balance sheet, if you see the operating profit, we are earning the operating profit. Operating profit is only a right measure to gauge the performance of a officer in the employees. And after that, the provision comes and the income tax comes, all these things are coming. We don't have any say in that.
Yeah, that totally is the government policy.
Yeah. Anyway, we are committed to that also, because once it is a bad debt, it's a bad debt. Necessarily we don't recover. So we are activating our officers and educating them the importance of recovering the dues, and we are hopeful of recovering the bad debts. And parallelly, we are educating our officers at the time of giving loans also to follow strict measures and a proper due diligence. So the building up of the future NPS will be reduced, and recovery, when we are accelerating, that also will be having impact in reducing the recovery. And we are hopeful of erasing all kinds of non-performing assets with this kind of enthusiastic officers in hand.
So wish you all the best for that.
Thank you.
Well, my next question is that we have seen that NBFCs like ILFS and now DHFL are creating ripples in the market. How do you see it impacting the economically in general and banking industry in particularly in long and short term?
It is a very disturbing trend, sir.
Yeah,
disturbing trend. In fact, our public sector money, though we are directly lending to the intending borrowers, our system, credit delivery system in India is, part of the money is routed through the NBFCs also. When the NBFCs are failing, necessarily it is having impact on the banking sector, our financial sector also. And of course now ILFS, one thing we are into worrying. But one thing what we saw is ILFS, though they could not generate funds to repay immediately, they are having a sizable kind of assets which they are auctioning out, or the existing pending projects they are giving to others, and we all long-term projects. We hope that those kind of things will be fructifying and they will be able to repay the. And as I told that, as a banker's financial institution, see, one thing we should know that credit is inherently risky, and this credit we are making to the needy people based on the future projections, and it is all backed by the securities to be generated after giving the loans. It is what the credit portfolios. So necessarily there is a risk is involved. As a banker, we learn lessons from out of that. So I can say only that much. Hereafter we will become more careful, and our rules will become more stringent in doing the due diligence and assessing the future of the industry, and accordingly do that. And sir, primarily if you see in our country, majority of the times that the government policies are coming in the way in failing the activities in a bigger way. And all those things need to be addressed in a big way, and we are committed to do that.
we have seen that ILFS have been rated 4 or 5 star, whatever it is, and now such situation do we see? Is that the crash down of NBFCs has started?
But the government is favoring the NBFCs. And they are given,
As a banker, what do you see? Whatever the government, it is their point of view.
Agreed.
But what, as a banker, what is your point of view?
Agreed. It's a good question. See, we are professionals. Though the government policies are there to lend or something like to the NBFCs, agriculture, necessarily during the due diligence part, we will have to be more careful. Okay, as I told you, it's all go by experiences. And hereafter we will make our rules bit stringent and our monitoring will be better, and the periodicity of monitoring also have to be activated, and in case of any signs of bad debts, action will also be quick. All those things should be thought of.
Yeah, of course.
Everything should be thought of, and of course we have to select the people rightly. It is very unfortunately what happened. Some of the big loans is that it is not committed by yesterday's borrower. It's a proven track record customers who are dealing with us for more than 25 years and 30 years. When we developed a kind of confidence in their business and the individuals, they commit. They commit. What to do?
Yeah, that's quite heartbreaking situation.
Yes. So that has to be studied properly. Hereafter, perhaps our professional approach towards due diligence will be further fine-tuned, so that such customers will not come to us, or we should devise some system to give early morning signals to us, so as to act quickly. And we may need a kind of power also from the government to immediately crack down on this kind of culprits and save the public money, because it is not the bank's money, it is a public money. Our long-term demand is there. Any defaulter to the public sector bank, it means that he is defaulting the public money. Some poor fellow's money he is playing, and they should be barred from holding any public positions. I mean, MLAs, MPs, ministers, any local body, they should be barred. It only will send a right signal of having fear in their mind to play with the public. This is what our demand is there. Let's see.
We have seen that offending and not paying of the bank debt or loan has been put up in civil matters. Do you think that instead of making it a civil matter, it should be a criminal offence?
No, it is not always. It is a civil matter. There are certain kind of defaults. It is being investigated by even CBOA. It is treated as a criminal case. Particular misappropriations are being done. Not all the cases are civil. But even if it is a civil issue, we are having a separate set of judiciary. Debt recovery tribunals are there to accelerate and activate the. So, okay, it has to be further given power to deal with the kid.
Yeah, that's what the absconders, they are enjoying taking heavy loans and enjoying going abroad and all that. They should be curbed. Government has to bring out a policy. What do you have to say about that?
It is a very big question to be asked. I don't know how. Because in the country, only after they get out of the country or get out of this kind of thing, only they are identified as any problems. And till the last minute, they were enjoying a big position in the society. For example, our Malaya was the Rajya Sabha MP. Leave alone, he is an industrialist, he is a Rajya Sabha MP. How you will have a doubt over his credibilities? And here necessarily the government also has to apply their mind to identify such elements. Sir, it is not that after they committed a mistake you are tightening the system. The system should so tighten that those kind of people should not come into the front and doing this. And the system should be able to identify such persons in advance. That is how the government norms should be.
Yeah. Sir, one last question. What is your views about the merger? We have heard that all the major players, I include Canara Bank is not one of the excluding one. We have heard that it is going to be merged with the SBI. What is your views on that?
Sir, it was a well thought out policy of the government. It was declared in 2015 January during Yan Sangam, when they divided the banking sector into anchor bank and target banks. It was very clear, and they told that anchor banks will continue to get the capital infusion, whereas these target banks will not be getting the capital infusion. It is very clear that they are allowed to have a natural death. So when they are going to die, either it should be merged, takeover, closed, or privatized, either one. So it should happen. We were expecting that. But now they have announced the first merger among the public sector banks, Bank of Baroda with Vijaya Bank and Dana Bank. Where we are worrying is the conflicting statements given by the people. When we asked why it should be merged, the reason given them was it should be big. It should be big. When it is to be big, why they are permitting the small banks to come into the system, like Bandhan Bank or Equitas Bank. These are all small banks, area-based banks. When the area-based banks are encouraged to come in a big number in the country, other side you are giving a contradictory statement, the banks should be big, and because too big to fall, so they will not fall. It is a contradictory statement. Still they are unable to say that why it is. And we, the officers working in the bank, we feel that there is no reason for having such thing. When the State Bank of India got merged, they told it is not a merger, it is an amalgamation among these associate banks. But here it is purely a merger. And still government is unable to say that why we are going for merger, what will happen in the future. That's the reason that our trade unions is very much opposing it, and we are also agitating in various forms to prevent the mergers.
Policy makers they themselves are confused.
Appear to be so.
Diplomatically answering is appears.
No, it is not like that. No, we are a CC. It is not only we are a bank. I am part of a citizen. I am a part of a person. Okay, I am working in the finances department, so I may come to know little more than others. That is the only advantage we have got. But what we want to know, if you are able to establish that this is really going to be good for the nation's economy, perhaps as a citizen I may agree.
Yeah, that's true.
I may agree, but it's not. It's not, no way. Our Honorable Prime Minister has told that the merger of the State Bank of India experience is good. But in fact, after the merger of State Bank of India, their profitability has come down. Nobody is happy. Neither the rulers, nor the administrators, nor the employees, nor the officers, nor the customers. Nobody is happy about the merger of the State Bank of India, and still they are suffering. Their profitability has come down heavily. Who is happy? That's why I told it appears to be.
Okay, yes, that's fine enough, sir. I would like to you gave a message to all your countrymen.
Sir, in 1969, when the banks were nationalized, the government had a feeling that the important factor of the economy, capital, should be in the hands of the government, so that it properly deployed, utilizing these land and labor, so that good entrepreneurs can be developed. The country will be achieving the self-sufficiency, and they can avoid the private money lenders who will try to loot the public and taking the resources from the public only. So that is the reason it was done. I honestly believe it is a statement as a person, as an Indian, fellow Indian. I feel the situation prevalent at the time of nationalization is not changed. Even today, 70% of the public, our population is living in agriculture, and still they want agriculture and lending at a cheaper rate, and it's not available. And in the process, money lenders and intermediaries, they are exploiting our farmers. And even today, after 70 years of independence, even today, agriculture is committing suicide when the crop fails and they are unable to repay their loans. So when that kind of scenario is there, public sector bank alone can serve those kind of people, because they are not having the profitability in their mind. All the private sector institutions, they are ultimately having eye on the profits. So necessarily, country like us, we need not to take the model of other developed countries. For the country like us, where the major GDP even today relying on the agriculture, and 70% of the population is still in the rural, and continue to serve the rural and agriculture and small player sector and all those things, remaining as a public sector in the banking is good. And I only want, it is not the bank officers are fighting against the privatization for their personal sake. They are fighting for the country only. Our country's economy being a public sector is good. So I only request all the countrymen to support the bankers who are fighting against the privatization movement of the nation. So we all will remain as a public sector, continue to have a inclusive growth and achieve new heights in the next year.
Thank you very much
Thank you,
from
sir.
Real Focus,
Thank
and
you,
we
sir.
wish you all the best
Thanks
in
a
your
lot, sir.
venture.
Thanks a lot, sir.